Hey everyone, welcome to Buick Outdoors. If you're new here, my name is Sheldon Marion, and today we're joined by Shelby, old Rocky boy, and little Daisy girl. And we're gonna go through the process on how to use a rock tumbler. But before we use a rock tumbler, we gotta come out here to the creek. We gotta find some cool rocks to put in her. So come along with us.
What do you think of that one?
Oh, that's cool. Check that out. These ones here, they might be, well, as long as I put them in with smaller ones. You don't want to put too many in this size, otherwise they'll just fill up right away, but that'll work.
This one's got a hole through it.
Oh, that's cool.
And more coral, possibly.
Sweet, throw that one in the bucket. Well, you guys have been finding a couple of pretty cool little rocks here. These ones here, I don't think they'll polish up all that nice. I'm just curious to see kind of what they're gonna look like when they're all done. But then I found this one here with some of that kind of white, I don't know what you want to call that, kind of white crystal kind of stuff in there. I'm not much of a rock guy. I don't know what they're called or how they're formed or anything like that. I just think they kind of look cool. If you know what it is, you know, maybe leave us a comment down below and kind of learn us a thing or two. And then I got this real cool purple one here with some kind of orange stripes. It's a bit big for the tumbler that I got, but we're gonna throw it in there anyways and give it a go. If you guys know what kind of rocks kind of turn out the best in a rock tumbler, let me know. But yeah, we're just gonna keep kind of picking rocks out. That's kind of a boring basic one. That one can stay here. We're just gonna keep looking for rocks, and hopefully we find a couple of real nice ones that we can get all polished up. So as we're running around here finding a bunch of rocks and stuff, what we've been finding too is just a whole pile of fossilized plants and stuff, and a little bit of wood, and possibly some coral as well. So if you want to see that video, I'll leave a little link in the description below, and then also up in the corner here I'll throw in a little tag that you can click on if you want to watch it now, or in the little link that'll be in the description. You can watch it later. Anyways, we are almost done here. We're gonna grab a few more rocks, and then we'll meet you back at the house, and we'll get these rocks into the tumbler. Alrighty guys, so we made her back home. We got a bunch of our rocks here all set up. Before we kind of go through the rocks, so I'm going to go through just a real quick rundown of the rock tumbler. So the one that we got here is just like the National Geographic Hobby Edition rock tumbler. It's nothing fancy whatsoever. Here's the size of the drum that it comes with it. It is fairly small. I believe the instructions say you can fit about a pound of rocks in here. And then it comes with this little stand, little rollers run by little belt. You have your settings here for your days. Pretty well pick a day, hit power, and then it runs. Also it comes with it little instructions book. With that, it also comes with enough grit and polish to do one full cycle. Comes with these little foam squares for when you're doing your polishing. Little sift for washing it, washing all your rocks and rinsing them out. It also comes with this little bag of rocks already in it. But to me, that's kind of like cheating, so we're not going to use those. We went out and picked our own. And then it also comes with this cool little bag. So there's like a little keychain, necklace, I believe it's a ring, and a couple little clamp-on things. I don't know if you're supposed to glue rocks onto them or what, but yeah, that's kind of nifty little kind of jewelry type things if you want to wear it around or have it as a keychain and whatever. That's kind of cool. It's not for me, but hey, you might like it. Or if you have a woman, throw a rock in one of those and she'll like it. But anyways, we're going to go through some of our rocks that we got. There was quite a few that are like this. They're just a pile of small little tiny rocks, kind of all cemented in place. So I thought those were pretty cool. The one that I'm going to be throwing into the rock tumbler is this one here. Just because of how many different kind of colors and shapes and sizes and stuff there is in there. It's pretty nifty. So those, I think those will polish up real nice. They'll look pretty cool. I think these ones are pretty cool. Just with the white lines running through them. You see that quite a bit. Ones like this where it's all sorts of different colors. There's some greens and whites and purples and reds. So it's yeah, it's quite a mixed bag of stuff that we have. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get our rock tumbler all set up. So it says, add your rocks and grit number 1 into your tumbler barrel. Yeah, fill with water until it just covers the rocks. Put everything back together. Alright, so that's pretty easy. With this thing too, I already kind of messed around with it to get the lid off. Kind of want to be a little prepared instead of just winging it. But to remove your black knob, pull this off. It can be somewhat hard, but this here on the inside is where it comes out. So if you're having issues with this, just give the sides a squeeze, and you can see how there's big lips there. Grab this, pop it off, and you're good to go. So now throwing our rocks. We got that one, the black guy with all the white lines. This one here, a little red with white and purples, and a little bit of shine to it. This one here, it's pretty nifty. Basically kind of white with little bits of orange and red splotched in there. Of course, we got the one with all the lines. Got to throw that in there. And there we go. We're going to add not much. Yeah, +2. Alrighty. Now it's telling us to put in grit number 1. So open up our bag of grit here. And we'll pull out step number 1. And inside there's nothing real fancy about it. Just looks like a bunch of shiny black stuff, really. There you go. That's what she looks like. Number 1 going in here. There we go. Then here I got some tap water. And just double check again. Fill with water until the water just covers the top of the rocks. There we go. Well, that feels pretty heavy, but we'll see if it runs or not. Hopefully you guys can see that. The water, it's about here. So now what we'll do is we'll take our top, put our top back on. When I was messing around with this earlier, what I think that works the best, you kind of take your thumb and just put it onto this lip, and then just kind of run your thumb around that lip. Kind of help fold it out. There we go. Like that. Put her on. With this here too, if you've used this before, let me know if I'm doing this right or not. But I've taken this on and off several times, and it just doesn't go on straight. So I don't know if I'm just kind of screwing this up or what, but yeah, maybe leave me a comment and let me know. Put that on nice and tight. Now basically do a little test, make sure no water comes running out. No water came running out. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to set it onto the tumbler. What do we need? 5 days, I believe. So on here, this is the instructions that I've been reading. If you go, pretty sure it's the next page. It says right here, grit number 1, suggested run time is 3 to 5 days. But for me, I'm heading off to work. So I'm going to be gone for 7 days. So I'm going to set this for 7 days, and then in 7 days, it'll automatically turn off. It says here, don't overload the tumbler. The action of the rocks crashing into each other will give the best tumbling results. If it's too full, the rocks can't move as freely and won't polish as well. For best results, fill your tumbler about half to 2/3 full. So I might have overdone it, but you know, we'll see. It also says the built-in sensor will automatically protect the motor inside by turning the tumbler off. If this happens, you should remove some rocks, unplug the tumbler, and plug it in again, and that'll reset the tumbler. So, in other words, what they're saying is toss this on for 7 days, and I'll show you how we're doing that. So here's just plugged into the back. Here's your little set button. 7 days. Then you just hit start. Take that, put her on, we'll see what happens. And there you have it. That's cycle number 1 started. So you guys, I'm off to work, and I will see you back here in 7 days. Hello everybody, back home from work. The rock tumbler automatically turned itself off. So now what we're gonna do, simply take this outside, put it through the strainer. We're gonna rinse them all off. Then we're gonna move on to step 2. So, see you outside. Alrighty guys, so we're outside here. Pretty well what we have, just a little strainer. I have a bucket of water. And then of course, we got the rocks here. With this stuff, you don't want to pour this down your drain, because what's going to come out of here is basically kind of the start of cement. So if it hangs up in any of your drains and stuff, you could potentially cement off your drains. So you don't want to do that. Just like when we put the rocks in there, twist this off. Pull your top off. And again, give your little barrel a squeeze. Pull that off, and look at that. Look at all that nasty water in there. So basically, take your screen here and pretty well just pour your rocks out. And we're going to take our bucket of water and basically just slowly pour it over, just to give them a slight little rinse. So some of these I was kind of worried about, like this one here. I thought that one and this one were going to break apart quite a bit, but as you can see, they're actually holding on very well. Then the ones with all the lines run through them, they turned out really good so far. Seeing that this red one, there's a little bit of green in there that I didn't notice before. What other? This one here, it's all right. It's kind of cool, but again, you know, this is just step one, so it's just pretty well taking off all the real sharp edges off. And the more we spin these, the better they're gonna turn out. So we got these all washed up. I'm gonna give our little drum a quick rinse, and then I'll put these back into the drum and we'll see you back into the house. And again, when we're doing this, you throw your rocks in here. And you add just enough water to cover up the top of your rocks. There we go. And we're below our line here. This is still only about 3/4 full of rock, so we should be within the weight limit. I'm going to put the lid back on, all that stuff for right now, but when we get back in, we'll have to add the step 2 sanding stuff there. But anyways, we'll get everything packed up here. We'll see you back in the house. Alright guys, so we're back into the house here, and we got out our little booklet here. If we flip her open to the tumbling times, it says for grit 2, allow 6 to 8 days. So seeing how it's Wednesday, I go back to work Tuesday, we'll set her for 6 days. We have our little drum with our rocks and our water in there, and again the water is just above the rocks and we're below this line here. So we're just going to grab our step 2. We're going to rip her open. Try not to spill any. And simply take it. Dump it in there. Kind of looks like a black sand looking stuff. Now we'll take our lid, put our lid on. Again, if you have issues with this, kind of squeeze the sides slightly until you can get your kind of thumb in there. And manipulate that around until it pops in. Take your metal cap, put her on. That's fairly straight there. Take your knob, put her in here. Now I'm just going to take this. I want to make sure that there's no leaks, so if you hold her upside down, make sure no water's going to come out of it. Put it back onto our tumbler. Push this little set button to 7. Turn it on. And there you go. And, oh, you know what? I said we're going to set it to 6 days. So I just turned it off, click the set to 6. Turn it on. And there. Now, on Tuesday night there, I'll come out here. I'll pretty well clean all these off. Then we'll start step 3 before I head back to work and put this on for another 7 days. So we'll see you then. Well, you guys, it's been a week since we put this on the tumbler here. It was on grit 2, so it's time to dump these out, rinse them off, and see what we got going on so far. Give them a bit of a rinse here. And they are slowly coming together. They're getting pretty cool. There's this one here, for some reason I like that one a lot. Some of these too, the shine is really starting to come out on them. That one there, I think that one's gonna look pretty nifty. A lot of this stuff though too, it's just kind of, they haven't really changed overly too much. But anyways, we're gonna rinse off our drum and our lid, and then we'll put these back in there, and we'll put our extra grit in there. Alright you guys, so the rock tumbler has been on for another week. That was step 3. Now we're going to be doing step 4. So just like before, we're going to pull the cap off, dump them out, clean them up, maybe look over a few of them, and then we'll put the step 4 packet in there, and we will move on from there. Oh yeah, these things are looking really nice. This one here is pretty cool. But they're slowly coming around. There's really not much to show you. Hopefully the next polish here kind of fine tunes everything. And then we have step 4, which is the polish. And when I put this back on the tumbler, I'll read the instructions again, but with this one it's another 7 days that you put it on for. And then after this, I believe you take the little foam squares and throw them in afterwards. And just like every other step, we'll put this back onto the rock tumbler, and we'll see you back here one more week, and it should be done. Just double check the old instruction book, but yeah, get back to this. Alright guys, so we've had the step 4 on here now for 6 days. I have to cut it a little bit short just because I'm going back to work. According to the book here, it says to have it on there for 7 to 10 days, and then also the gem foam for 3 days, but I'm just going to skip that process because, like I said, I have to go to work, unfortunately. But what we can do is we can take the top off of this, get them all rinsed off, and then see the final result. It's been quite a while getting this all done, but we're finally in the home stretch here. And because it's so cold outside right now, I'm doing it inside. But we'll see what we got here. Then it's got a little bit of tap water here. There we go. And it should be said again, don't put this stuff down your drains. Basically what you have in there is kind of really thin cement basically. So yeah, just be cautious of that. But now I can show you some of these things. They didn't turn out quite like I thought they would on some of these. That one there, that's pretty cool. The line's a little more defined now. This one here, I think with the heavy grit and stuff, it kind of took away some of the cool stuff that was on there. Let's see, one of these, I think it's this one here, I had that real shiny stuff on the bottom, and it's still kind of there. It's kind of almost looks like, I don't know, kind of silverish, kind of. Now I'll show you one of these cool multicolored red ones. That turned out pretty cool. And this one here I think is by far my favorite. It's just a pile of small little rocks all kind of jammed in there. That looks pretty neat. Then we have a couple of these little white ones. they turned out pretty cool. But yeah, that's how you go about polishing these rocks. It does take some time, but it's pretty simple stuff. Pretty well just put your rocks in there with the grit and a little bit of water. Turn it on in a place where the noise of the motor isn't going to be bothering you for a week at a time. And yeah, you can get some pretty cool looking stuff out of there. And I think I still got the box. Again, that's the National Geographic kind of hobby edition rock tumbler. And yeah, you can pick them up off Amazon. You and your kids can go out, find some cool rocks on the creek, polish them up after about a month, and then yeah, it even came, where is it? It came with this here. If you don't go to the creek, it comes with rocks that you can use. And then also for all the grit and stuff, you can just go onto Amazon and order more off of there. It also came with a few things to make kind of like jewelry. There it is. So you got a little bracelet thing in there, a little necklace. I think there's clip-on earrings there too. So again, you can take your rocks that you have, put them in here. You, your kid can wear them, or you can hang them up, or whatever. And yeah, definitely give this one a try, guys, if you're wanting to head out and polish up some rocks. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button down the bottom there. Leave us a comment or two. Tell us how your rocks turned out. I'll catch you on the next one.